Truth.Today. And now your host, Rob Brown.
Hi folks, and welcome to our first show today of the Daily Truth.Today. I want to welcome everybody and just give you guys an idea of that this show is going to be a daily show, hopefully, and we're going to talk about current events, things that are in the news, all with a biblical perspective. I just want to give a shout out and a thanks to all the folks at Radio Vision Network for thanking them for giving me this opportunity to put together this show. This has been a dream of mine for many years. I've had the background, communications background, and just to let you know a little bit about myself, I'm a New Jersey native. I'm born and raised in South Jersey. Went to school with a very well-known Olympic gold star, Carl Lewis, and college, and through all of that, I started a couple of businesses and realized that I always wanted to produce a show that would bring current events, talk about things that are going on that are affecting all of us, and then bring in the Word of God in the Bible. And what does it say about current events? I know that, for people that go to church on a regular basis, you may not hear about, what the opinions are of the church or opinions of, the leadership of the church, of whatever church you may belong to. But I think that it's important that we talk about it and what does it mean to us as Christians. We hear a lot of things today about different sects and different other denominations and other religions in the world that are affecting us as Christians here in the United States. And my hope is that we can talk about these things and bring a truth and a sense of stability to our country. I know our country right now, we are racked with so many issues that are affecting us. And so we need to know, we need to have a clear leadership guideline, my belief is, and because we believe this country was started in a Christian format, in a Christian way, and founded by leaders who believed in Jesus Christ and who consecrated this country to God. So we hope that this is the goal. This is not going to be a politically motivated show, but we are going to talk about the candidates for the upcoming presidential race next year, and we really want to get you involved. I'm hoping that we can have at one point we can have a live call-in and talk about the issues that are facing us. And what is your opinion? What matters to you? So these are things that we're going to talk about. And of course, whenever we have issues that are going to be controversial, we'll have to think about that too. We're going to go to a break, and when we come back from the break, we'll talk about what we're going to discuss today.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sidney Cohen. I'm a psychologist in New Jersey. I'm the host of a show called Heading in the Right Direction, which will be appearing on internet TV station Radio Vision Network. It's a show that's going to cover a wide range of psychological subjects. I think you'll be very interested in the subjects. I'm also going to have the opportunity to send me emails, ask me some questions. I'll answer questions, and I very much look forward to you tuning in. I'm very excited to do this. Thank you.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
And welcome back, folks, to the Daily Truth Today. Just want to let you know we are in the works of producing a website. I'm hoping that we can get the website up and running probably in another 2 weeks or so. And it will be the dailytruth.today. And all of the issues that we're going to discuss and different things that we're going to talk about will be on the website. So hopefully that will be up and running shortly, and you can communicate with us right there on the dailytruth.today website. All right, so today's show, since it's our first show, I thought, why not talk about some things that aren't so heavy and aren't so, light. And just to let you know, back when I was a young kid, and my father was in the military for 20-some years, and he was a brilliant man, and I have to say that he raised us up as best as he knew how. but he was in the Navy, and in his travels and things that he was doing for the Navy, one of his assignments was that he was a weatherman in the Navy, and he used to do the weather maps for pilots towards the end of Second World War and also in the Korean War. And if he was alive today, he would be about 86, 87 years old. But I remember as a young fellow, a young kid, that he would tell us about some of the things that he was doing. And one of them that he mentioned was called the HARP program. And my hope is I want to do a whole show on the secret HARP program, which was started by the Navy. And what is it doing? What is it all about? You can Google the HARP program and you can find out what it is. But I want to bring in some information that I think is affecting us as a country, and a show that we're going to be doing eventually very soon on geoengineering and also on climate engineering, climate control, with a host that I will be having next week, Dane Wigington. And if you can bring that graphic up, that'll be great. I want to show folks that this is a real subject and a real serious matter that we need to talk about. So that'll be next week. But for this week, what we're going to talk about are 4 or 5 basic things that I see in the news and I think that we need to talk about. And there's a plethora of information that you can find on the internet. And the government, in its wisdom, has come forward with new sets of rules that may be implemented through the FCC in controlling the internet. And in fact, I found through some news sources that there's supposedly something called an internet kill switch, so that the internet can be controlled and shut off if the government ever declares a state of emergency, or they decide to do an exercise, military exercise, and they want to control the information that is disseminated across the country and across the world. But those are issues that we need to take into thought and to think about. And the next thing I want to talk about, which is about Japan and some of the new technology that we have that's coming out. Japan has a new smartphone that they invented and that they've incorporated into some of the smartphones that are coming out today. And it's called an iris scanning smartphone. And this phone is really, really interesting. It looks into your eyes, obviously, and it can tell who you are, and it's for identification purposes, obviously. But this technology really could be used in a devious way. And this is something we need to look about and think about. Do we really want to have these smartphones controlling our daily lives? I have a smartphone. Just about everybody I know has a smartphone. But most people don't know that you are being watched and you are being tracked by various things within the government. And, we can get into the NSA and all of that. That'll be a show where we'll talk about how the NSA, through the Snowden tapes and all of that, whistleblowers that have talked about that we've been tracked and we are being tracked and watched by our government. So that's another thing. The other thing I want to talk about is this country and our financial stability. And they're talking about banning cash and going into a cashless society, which I think is really, it's a scary thought, because if we don't have the ability to control our own personal matters, our own financial personal matters, we can be controlled and manipulated without any limits. And some of the things that they're talking about over in Europe, there's been talk about taking away with cash and setting up these government accounts that are controlled by one bank. And this is just, it's getting out of hand, folks. It's really getting out of hand. And so we need to look at that. That's an issue that I want to talk about also. And they have these now RFID chips where they can track you. It will contain all of your personal information, everything from your social security number to your bank information. we really need to say, where does it end? Where does it stop? And what is the point of it? What's the principle of it? So those are issues that we need to talk about and we need to discuss. And I will have guests on the show concerning those things. Another thing that is just in the news about Jade Helm 15. Many of you don't know about this, but this is a very serious, very real thing that our military is going to be exercising all across the country this summer. As far as I know, it's between 7 and 10 states. And Texas is really, really up in arms about this, literally. The governor of Texas has come out and said that they're going to be watching what the military is going to be doing. And Jade Helm 15 is evidently they're saying they're using it as an excuse to exercise the military in a regular daily setting of people. But why here in the United States, and why in public areas, if they are doing it in public areas? They're saying that it's going to be on private property. Well, they're using subjects and people that are everyday citizens. So there's a big cry from Texas all the way up into California, and they're talking about that they believe that this could be the beginning or the framework or foundation of martial law. And that's very serious. We need to think about these issues, and we're going to talk about Jade Helm. I'm going to have guests on the show, and we're going to talk about this issue. Another thing that just recently was in the news today about Jeb Bush. Many of you know that he has decided he's thinking about running for president. It's not official, but he talked about the fact that when he was asked by the news media if he would have done the same thing that his brother, President George Bush, when they went to Iraq with our military. And his original response was he would have done the same thing. But now he's flip-flopping and he's saying, well, I didn't understand the question. And now I'm thinking, well, okay, if you didn't understand the question, you should have asked to, explain the question in a better way, and he would have answered. But he came out and said that he would have done the same thing that his brother would have done, and now he's flip-flopping and saying he would have made a different call. So this is interesting. There are many candidates now running for the Republican nomination, and we know that there are certain people running for the Democratic nomination. And I just think that we need, as Christians, we need to look at the show, and we're going to go to a break, and we'll be back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sidney Cohen. I'm a psychologist in New Jersey. I'm the host of a show called Heading in the Right Direction, which will be appearing on internet TV station Radio Vision Network. It's a show that's going to cover a wide range of psychological subjects. I think you'll be very interested in the subjects. I'm also going to have the opportunity to send me emails, ask me some questions. I'll answer questions, and I very much look forward to you tuning in. I'm very excited to do this. Thank you.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Milan, host of Read All About It. I interview authors of all kinds about their journeys of writing and the struggles that they face. You can watch my show at 12 p.m. on Wednesdays. Tune in to Radio Vision Networks. We hope to see you then.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Welcome back, folks. We were talking about Jeb Bush and the candidates that will be possibly running for president next year. I just want to give a plug. I follow most of the candidates and what they're talking about and the issues that are facing us. And I want to just say that my opinion from some of the rhetoric and the talk that I hear, I really, really have to give my thumbs up to Rand Paul. He's a conservative. He's a Republican. But his father, whom many of you may know, Ron Paul, was a congressman for many years. I believe 11 years he was a congressman, and also a patriot. And that term patriot, today has gotten so many negative reviews and responses from the mass news media. And they're talking, about him in a negative way. But I want to say that Rand Paul has come out, and I'm going to be doing a show on Rand Paul, and I want to just let you know that he has come out and has tried to expose some of the things that are going on behind the scenes, like with Jade Helm, and he's talked about these drones that are controlled and owned by the Secret Service and also the CIA and the Homeland Security. And they're going to be using these drones in the United States. They're using them now, as a matter of fact. From what I understand, some of these drones are being used by the Homeland Security. So, and he has come out and has tried to pass a bill that these drones would not be used against the American people. And I actually have a snippet, I wish I could play it for you now, where he says and he asks, are these drones going to be intended to be used to kill Americans? And this is just, it's absurd. It's absurd. Is our government turning against us? I mean, these are questions that we as Americans have to look at and answer in a really hard way, because there's a hostility that our government has been bringing towards us. And you hear the headlines, I hear the headlines, and that's the purpose of this show. We're going to talk about the headlines, and I'm going to bring in some experts, and then I'm going to bring in what the Bible has to say about it. I really believe that the Bible has a lot of truth that can help us as a nation. We are in a crisis in this nation of leadership. And all you have to do is just look, Democrat, Republican, you name it. They all say one thing, and then they go and they do a different thing. And most of it is being done behind our backs. And so we as Christians in this country have to begin to stand up and demand leadership. This country was great with leadership. And so, I'm doing this show in hopes that we can talk about it and bring the issues up and really just, exemplify what real leadership is about. On our next show, we're going to be discussing the chemtrails and climate engineering with Dane Wigington and his website. If you can bring his website up. Dane Wigington, geoengineeringwatch.org, will be our first guest next week on this show. So I want to thank you for watching, and I do hope that you'll continue to tune in to the Daily Truth.Today. The scripture verse for today that I want to use is from the book of Acts in chapter 4 and verse 26. And it says that the kings of the earth stood up, and the rulers were gathered together against the Lord and against his Christ. And we see that happening. We see how our government is turning against righteousness, against Christians, against the faith of the founding fathers of this country. So with that verse, it's a thought that we need to realize these things are happening right in front of our eyes. Thanks again for watching the Daily Truth.Today.